Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Polish Tier 10 heavy tank, the 60TP Robert Lewandowski. Okay, maybe it's not the Polish striker for Bayern Munich, but it's the Lewandowski the 60TP, just 60TP for short. And it's a Polish heavy tank that is similar in some ways to the German E100 because it is a super heavy tank. It's got pretty solid armour on the turret. The upper plate's pretty solid. The lower plate is well angled, but it is the weak spot. It's also got a gun that is very similar to the E100. This big gun that it's got on it is a 750 Alpha Monster, and it's pretty nice. It's got 250 AP pen on this 152, 317 pen on its heat. So it's fairly similar in the way it behaves to the E100, which has got 246 pen on its AP and 330 odd pen on its heat rounds. So obviously the heat rounds on this tank aren't as good as the E100, but generally, like I say, the gun behaves similarly. It goes at 35 kilometers an hour, which is pretty decent for a super heavy, and that's obviously in lieu of the E100's 30 kilometers an hour, because the E100 is a heavier tank, and it's slight difference to the mobility because there's slight differences in the armour, obviously, because like the upper plate on this tank, like I say, is really good, but it does suffer prem spam a little bit more than the E100's upper plate, for example. But then this turret doesn't get buttered as much as the E100's frontal turret armour by prem spam, because even though the turret armour on the E100 has been buffed fairly recently, it still gets wrecked. It still gets wrecked by prem spam. There's not much that's going to stop that. It just helps it angle a little bit better against the prem. That's about it. So, yeah, I mean, this tank has 1 degree more gun depression than the E100 as well. It's got 8 degrees, which is really flexible and really nice. It's one of the good things about this tank is the fact you can get on a ridge line and your turret becomes godly at that point, and you can just sort of flex on ridge lines, essentially. Now, the gun is a little bit slower and does aim a little bit slower again. Hopefully this line gets reforged and this tank will get a little bit of love like the E100 has had recently, because it's got 3-second aim time, which is a little bit slow. Obviously, it is a big gun, so I suppose it's going to have 3-second aim time for a 152, but most tanks seem to be getting quicker with the aim times now, so that's just a little bit slow. And its reload is pretty poor. Like, the E100, you get in, like, what, 3 rounds a minute? Which is pretty nice, whereas this tank is only 2.78 or something like that. Basically, your base reload is very slow. And while this tank has a better accuracy on the gun, it also just doesn't feel like it. For some reason, this gun feels far derpier than the E100's gun. I don't know what it is. It's weird. It's probably the aim time that holds it back a little bit. I'm not sure on the shell velocity. I can't remember what the shell velocity is on this tank. I don't know if it's actually worse or better than the E100. But, yeah, it is what it is. The E100 is the comparable. So, what do I run on this tank in terms of the crew? Well, in terms of the crew, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Trap Mechanic, and Rapid Aim. Now that final slot where Rapid Aim is, I run Rapid Aim because the turret traverse is like 20 meters per second, 20 degrees per second, 20 meters per second, that'll be pretty quick. 20 degrees a second, which is very slow. So I run Rapid Aim to make that even quicker. Well, 10% or 15% quicker, whatever it is with Rapid Aim. But that final slot is up to you, right? If you can live with the turret traverse, you can change that. Go with off-road driving to make the mobility a little bit better on this tank. If you don't like the track traverse, you could run clutch braking to make the track traverse better, which is something you could definitely do. There's so many different options that you could do with this tank. Like, it's all down to you, all down to how you want to play it, all down to your build. It's customizable. That's just sort of my recommendation for a start to your crew, and it's a fairly solid start to it too. So in this game, the first one on whatever this map is called, Rezanai, we have come into the castle area, and we're up to 3.2k damage and 1500 assistance. We've managed to deal with what's here quite well. We've now got this 705A in front of us who is firing heat, which is going to be a problem for this tank, because obviously that hurts us a lot. But he turns his attention from us. We slap a big shell into his drive wheel there to pen and track him. And that's obviously a good thing about having 750 Alpha and this 152mm caliber gun. It means that if we do go for tracking shots, you do tend to take them off pretty much every single time, even against the super heavy tanks like that. Now we've got this 430 version 2 over there. We slap a big shot into him. We're up to 4.6k damage with 2.4k assistance. So, I mean, at the minute we're at 7k combined, which is a really nice game for the 60 TP. It's one of those tanks because it is quite slow and it is heavily armoured that sometimes you need games where tanks come to you. But sometimes it can be pretty well. It can just go pretty well generally. I mean, like I said, the mobility 35 kilometers an hour. I mean, 35 kilometers an hour is similar to what? I think an E5 has 35 kilometers an hour top speed. Maybe even a Super Conqueror has that. You know, I mean, it's not that much slower. It's just probably getting up to that top speed is obviously worse than those tanks. So right here at the end of the game, we have what you would call the absolute dream. And that is this poor E1, Jagdpanzer E100 is just AFK. And it's like, well, feed me. We'll track him in place. Make it so that if anyone shoots him, we feeds his assistance. It's what it is. You got to take everything. Take the rough with the smooth, right? There's games where it goes wrong, and there's games where they just feed you the hit points. So we get 3 kills, 6.1k damage, 2.7k assist, ace tanker, high caliber, sniper medal, 1626 base XP. So nearly 9k combined, which is a really nice game for a 60 TP. The 60 TP can be, you know, pretty fun. It's a decent little heavy tank. Like, it's one of those ones that I would probably hope that they reforge fairly soon, though. I think in terms of the line could just do with a little bit of love. I don't think it's the worst line in the universe. I just think there's little things that this tank could definitely do with some love. Like I said, like aim time changes, just a little bit better reload. Obviously, because you don't want it to be like 4 rounds a minute with 750 alpha, because that would be insane. That would be like a 268 version 5. No, it wouldn't. The 268 version 5 ain't quite that quick. But you know what I mean? It'd be like having an 850 alpha gun that reloads dead quick. So that's the thing. Quite a few of the 850 alpha guns actually reload as quick as this tank does, which they also butter you up, is what it is. An E4 is probably a better heavy tank than this is sometimes. But hey, that's just the E4, eh? But yeah, little things it could do with changes, like the aim time could do with it, the DPM could do with it a little bit, maybe buffing the turret cheeks on this a little bit better, or the rounds of the gun, because generally the higher pen TDs and some of the high pen heat rounds that you get, say maybe like M60s and stuff like that, they do pen it, which can be a little bit of pain. And also that little ridge there is a bit of a painful one with premium round spam as well, that you've just seen where I got penned, because that can happen too. Also, generally with the line, like the 50 TP tier 9 is a hell of a lot better since 6.0, because it used to be bloody awful. But that's because it had a slow reload and the gun just didn't hit anything. Now the gun hits, so it doesn't feel as bad when you miss. But that tank could do with some love in terms of its DPM, aim time, stuff like that. The 53 TP is a great tank. I really like that tier 8 tank. I think that's probably fine. Doesn't really need too many changes. The tier 7 45 TP is a pretty decent tank again. Probably could do with it a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's okay. There's a lot of tanks. There's a lot of tanks lines out there that probably need reforging ahead of this one, but it would be nice to see this one get just, a little bit of love to it, right? I'm looking at your Italian heavies. So yeah, on this second game, we're on Sand River, and we've come to this little position here, which is a great position. This F3-4 position is great for the 60 TP, because you can, well, it's not just the 60 TP, anything with gun depression, to be honest. You can get good shots out like we've got here. We've got good shots at these tanks that are along their K-line, and we can shoot them with great impunity, because we can stay safe here and stay hull down, which is nice. Their position at G6 is just deadly. It's the completely opposite position, which, from that balance should be just as good, right? It's just not, because they get onto the dunes quicker, and if they get onto the dunes, they can actually shoot you, and you cannot get safe in that position, which is annoying for them, because like I say, right here, I can get here and stay safe completely. Like there's except for maybe getting to K4, 5, they can shoot me from there. But the thing is, they have to expose themselves to my people on the dunes to shoot me. So yeah, their position is a lot worse than ours is. But we've got a good position anyway, and we're going to make the most of it. We're up to 1900 assistance, 1300 damage, and we're just looking for a shot at the side of this tortoise. We get a big shot into his side for 713, which is a nice hit. And we're just going to keep this gun working. We've just got to keep making sure the shots are fully aimed, because that is one thing with this gun. Like I say, it just feels derpy, and it can be a right pain for that. I'm just watching the TD below, but I actually want to get one more shot into this tortoise, which we do. And yeah, the E4 below is facing another E4, and it's like, right, okay, I'm going to get down there and help this guy, because, well, he's the one that's actually covering my flank down here. Obviously, there's the heavy tank with him, but I've got the Alpha, I can shut down this E4 if I get the reload in. So we get down there, shut down the E4, and now that CS59 doesn't have much help with which to push down that middle area. Now they're in our base, because we sent no one to that northern flank, so I've just got to reverse up, have my frontal armour to them, and I have decent gun elevation and that, and I can hopefully get some shots at them. So we get a nice shot at this M60, get straight into his track, which is a bonus. And I'm just going to pull forward here and use this little rock in front of me to try and cover my lower plate, try and side scrape, angle the armour a little bit better, you know, and just hopefully not take any shots from them. Now this M60's moved into an awkward position for me. I can't quite get the shot in, so we just manoeuvre up, slap the shot in, and then go back into safety. We're up to 4.8k damage with 2,200 assistance, which is pretty good. And we've just got to keep it ticking over. So now there's the IS-7 in our base, and I'm like, right, okay, I'm not going to get any shots at him if he just stays where he is. I'm going to try and turn my attention to helping this heavy tank out that's pushed forward over here. Now there's the medium tank at E7. There's other stuff that is in their base that is unspotted that we know is there. So I'm just going to push up on top of this ridge line and see if I can get a shot at this medium tank that might possibly be moving across. And fortunately enough for me, he is. And it's the 907. And we shut down that 907 with a big shell into his side. Now we know there's a Death Star at F7 as well. And it's like, right, I can take a hit from a Death Star. He's a 2-shot for me. If he's firing Hesh, he'll do 600 damage. If he pens with AP, he'll do 1,000 odd damage. I don't really want to take him on by myself, though, because that could lead to, well, bad things. But fortunately enough for me, he just drives up on the ridgeline, and it's like, oh, hello, Mr. Death Star. Oh, we set you on fire. Unfortunately, the Batchat kill to kills just gets it just before he dies to the fire damage. But waiting on the reload, like I said, there's a TD and a medium tank, and I'm pretty sure, as you've just seen a tree fall, I don't think I saw that in the game, but there's a tree fell just over there at H0, and in fact that was my controller disconnecting, which is bad timing, which just keeps happening to me randomly at the minute, where my controller just goes, oh yeah, I'm just going to DC now, and there's nothing you can do about it. We get a nice shot on the move into the Conway, which was dirty. We get slapped by artillery. We're up to 7k damage. There's just a medium tank in the artillery exam. We know where the artillery is. He's just fired at us, but we're never going to get anywhere near him because we've got 2 medium tanks marauding that way. We get spotted as we pull forward. It's actually the Leopard 1. We snap the shot at him, which hits, but he gets, well, it just hits the gun and gets absorbed. But we did spot that Leopard 1, so we're getting assistance damage on him, which is nice. Their artillery takes another punt at us and misses. Our artillery shuts down that Leopard, which gives us all of the spotting assist. We're up to 4.2k spotting, which is a great amount. The artillery, I didn't really act quick enough. The artillery gets spotted up by our Leopard 1, and the Leopard 1 shuts him down. And we have a great game for the 60 TP. We finish with the victory. The 7.3k damage, 4.2k assistance, 2k blocked, ace tanker, Confederate, high caliber. The 1709 base XP, and a really great game for the 60 TP. A lot of fun. It's a solid, super heavy tank, right? It's good on a ridgeline. It's got a stonkingly heavy hitting gun. And yeah, it's kind of fun. Like I said, I just hope it gets a little bit of love in the Reforgers. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!